everyone. We got a short video here for today, so we're just gonna hop straight into it. Remember, I'm not a financial advisor, none of this is financial advice. But look at this baby Doge right now at 1670. We're going through a little bit of a consolidation phase right here. So this is actually very important to watch. So at the end of this pattern here, we're gonna end up seeing where we're gonna be going towards. Now, if I were to take a guess here, as you can see here on the MACD, we are coming off of some oversold territory here. You can kind of see the candlesticks shifting to the upside, which kind of indicates that we actually might be having a nice little pump, just like when we had here. As you can see on the bottom here, we had all those selling candlesticks, and then we eventually started to go up, and you're seeing the positive momentum as the MACD started to curve upwards. Hopefully, it's the same thing here again. On the previous videos I was making, I was telling everybody, hey, you really want to watch out for this resistance all the way up here. Watch all those previous videos at 2100, 2190, almost 2200, and it did exactly that. It stayed up there very briefly though. So what we're watching out for this next pump here inside of Baby Doge is actually going to be back up to the 2200 area. And if Bitcoin continues to rise, as you all know, Bitcoin has been doing fairly good numbers. Bitcoin at 106K, if we see Bitcoin rising more and more and more, then we could see even more of a price jump all the way up to 8Z 2700 or even 8Z 2800 up here to this level up here, that little resistance that we have there. And I'll talk about why I chose this area as the resistance. So it's not just a random white line I drew on the Fibonacci retracement, but we'll get to that in a second. Now, 108,000 inside of Bitcoin is pretty much what we're looking at. So if we can pass that 108,000 level, which we definitely can, like we're at 106.8K, I truly believe that we're actually going to end up breaking past it. And we're probably going to end up creating those new all-time highs. Probably going to end up doing what I mentioned before, how we're going to end up pumping up to 119K at the lowest, and then 130, 135 at the most, possibly 150 at the very most. But on average, I think that we can get all the way up to 130K, and a lot of people have been talking about this as well. It's a very significant level for Bitcoin right now. And I've already done the numbers where I've shown the different percentages and the different percentage changes between the different bull pumps, the bull markets for the previous markets like the 2021 and the 2017, 2018. I've already showed all the numbers for that, so I'm not going to do that again. Just check out my Bitcoin videos, and I go over that extensively. If you see a Bitcoin video made by me and it's 40 minutes long or 50 minutes long, you know it's about to be some type of fire. Like I put everything in those videos. So I'm not doing it again. This is just a short update though. So if Bitcoin is to continue to go past its previous all-time highs at 108K, jumping to 110K, I predict that Baby Doge would end up getting back up here to about 8Z2200, right? But it wouldn't necessarily pass it. But if Bitcoin has a continuation from 110K on, then you could probably end up seeing Baby Doge passing these levels here at 2200, right? And then making the jump all the way up here to about 2750. And the reason I showed this level here is this. So let's just kind of go back here with Bitcoin and look at previous levels where we've reached inside of this level or inside of Baby Doge. So we've had resistance here at 2750 here, and we've had it here, and we've had the level here where we tried to use it as support but almost immediately broke it, but had a little bit of resistance there, a little bit of a support area. And this is like a support area, not necessarily a support line for this particular area. Like this is an area where we definitely linger around a little bit before we make our final decision, whether it's going to be on the upside or the downside. And you see this, how we linger around this area a lot whenever we're trying to make our decision, whether we're going to the upside or downside. And you can also see a little bit around here on this area as well with the resistance right before it started to break out. So this is a very, very significant level in my personal opinion. I like this level, and I do like to follow it extensively because we've also had it as support in the past and resistance. So that's just me. That's just why I like to use those levels. But more so, we can still end up seeing it breaking past those levels. Bitcoin continues past like 111K plus. Then around 2750, this is then easily going to turn to 8Z30. So this is the real target for that move if Bitcoin continues to rise. So that's really what I'm looking for here inside of Baby Doge. And then some more of the good news here for Baby Doge. We're still holding up fairly well here. And also almost at 1.9 million holders. So then that'll eventually turn to 2 million. Of course, with Baby Doge, a lot of the holders have like less than a fraction of a penny in there because when you sell Baby Doge, it has so many zeros on it that when you sell it, it doesn't necessarily, get rid of your wallet or anything like that. You're still technically a holder because you're always holding at least like 100,000 Baby Doge. And if you do the math, 100,000 Baby Doge is less than point like 0.00001 of a penny. So it's yeah, it's really really weird. But yeah, we are almost at 1.9 million holders though. And I also want to show you guys this. So we've lost some of the dominance here the inside of the inside of the developer's wallet. This is the developer's wallet, the UNCX Unicrypt wallet, and this is pretty much the developers. You can see 500 trillion Baby Doge left 15 hours ago from here. From there, it went to this wallet, and a lot of you guys really liked the video that I did the other day where I showed like where the money is going. So from the developer's wallet, 500 trillion, it went to this wallet, and then you can see there's multiple transactions where it went to multiple wallets, which are these two wallets here. And this is one of those wallets. And as you can see, the transaction went here, and then it then went into this wallet. And then from this wallet, they withdraw a little bit here into the Binance hot wallet. So they withdraw it into cash, and they've been doing this for multiple days. Here you can see it's very, very uniform here. They've been doing it for like the last week, actually. And yeah, they've been slowly but surely taking out some of the money. And we're going to talk about why I believe it is. And then we can see some of the money went into this wallet. And then from this wallet, you can see it came to this wallet. And then some of it actually stayed inside of this wallet. So they still have some in there. And then you can see this is a wallet that has a very small amount. Some of the money found its way in this wallet. But this wallet has a very, very small amount in it. So this wallet is like almost insignificant. Maybe it's like one of their content creators or something that they're just paying off. I don't know. This is a tiny wallet, so it doesn't matter that much. But yeah, it is what it is. And this wallet doesn't necessarily sell much at all either. If at all, they don't really sell. So this seems like it's a wallet where they're like paying somebody and then they're paying them a Baby Doge. Or if, maybe it's like a Baby Doge savings account. All right. And then we got over here, vote for Baby Doge to be listed on Swissborg, which is one of the largest European exchanges out there. And this is actually pretty good, pretty nice that they're going to be getting listed to one of the largest exchanges in Europe. And then on top of all of this, we have this. So Baby Doge lands on Ton tomorrow. And to celebrate that, they're going to be listed to Blum, the Blum Exchange, which they have a lot of followers on Twitter. So I've never heard of Blum Exchange, but I guess it's a big one. So, yeah. And they're going to be getting listed on there. And then they're going to have an AMA with Baby Doge, with Blum and Baby Doge, announcing the actual listing to Blum, because they're saying Ton launches tomorrow. And that could be why some of the money is being withdrawn from Baby Doge. And I mentioned that I was going to explain why I think it is. I think some of that money that they took out of the developer's wallet is actually going to end up going into liquidity for things like Ton liquidity when they start on Ton. Also, liquidity for the Blum exchange, also liquidity for the Swissborg exchange and other exchange listings and payments to get listed onto those things. I notice every single time Baby Doge has these major listings and bridging to other blockchains, they always take money out of the developer's wallet. And that's because you need money to develop. You need money to bridge to these other blockchains. You need money to get listed onto these other exchanges. So I've noticed that they do that a lot. And they do that around the time we always get listed onto exchanges. So it makes complete sense that over the last 2 weeks, almost actually the last month, they've been taking money out of Baby Doge. Yeah, it's been like 100,000 here and there. It probably totals up to like $1 million total. But still, it takes a lot of money to do these things with these exchanges as well as liquidity. If it's going to be tradable on these exchanges, they have to have liquidity for these exchanges. They have to have money for the people to actually receive their coins on the exchanges as well. So you got to think about it that way. So are they really selling Baby Doge, or are they just giving that liquidity to another exchange, to do all these different things? So it's not really that big of a deal, and that's why I just like to break it down this way. Now, obviously, some of that money is probably finding its way into their pockets. Some of it, like let's be honest, Like you got to get a payday if you're developing a project like this. You got to have a payday for yourself, but not all of it's going into their pockets. Like they're actually using the money for exchange listings. That's what it looks like. So that's what I believe. But yeah, everything is all good so far with Baby Doge. The price is doing what it does. Baby Doge is still in the same position that I've been mentioning, which is when it pumps really hard, take your profits. When it pumps really hard, take your profits. Don't be afraid to take your profits. And then when it pulls back, buy back in so then you can, get back, so you can get back in and do another trade. But when it's really, really high and really, really expensive, like up here, like 8Z6, like, and then you take your profits and then you don't buy back in until it gets extremely cheap again. But like right now, how you seen it pull back, how it just now did. So like we pulled back from a pretty decent level up here, right? We pulled back from 2200 all the way down to 1500, and now it's back at 1678. Like these are the times where you would pull out at 2200, buy back in at 15, and then watch it go up a little bit further, possibly up to 8Z3, making a sale at 8Z3 just for it to pull back, because usually it'll pull back a little bit and then it'll keep going. So you do that all the way on the way up, and then sell at the top. And it's really extremely hard to tell the top, but I like to dictate the top whenever Bitcoin stops pumping. If Bitcoin stops pumping, Bitcoin starts to have major crashes, that's when you're probably going to end up wanting to sell. So anywhere in this area really is where you want to sell. Like all the way up here to about here, this is typically the top area for Baby Doge. These areas down here are like medium areas for Baby Doge, where it could like stop pumping if Bitcoin stops. And then this area right here, like Baby Doge can do this type of stuff on its own. So that's kind of how I like to break down Baby Doge. Like Baby Doge can do this type of stuff on its own with its own hype, but then anything above that, it typically needs some type of outside factor to keep it running up. And this is like a weird drawing, but like, yeah, that's pretty much how I look at it. But yeah, this is all I got for you all today. Like I said, this is going to be a short video. Definitely hit the like button and subscribe. Remember, I'm not a financial advisor. None of this is financial advice. And as always, I'll be back with another video.